Hi, I'm Christina Bergson with the Animal Law Firm, where we are fighting for the underdog in Colorado, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Today's question is, what can I do to get my dog back? So this person had given their dog to someone else temporarily because they were having housing issues. And so then once they got their housing situation straightened out, then they went to go get their dog back, and the person and family that this person had given the dog to didn't want to give the dog back. This is actually not uncommon. I see this fact pattern a lot. Sometimes it's between family members, sometimes it's like roommates or former friends. Otherwise, most often I see it between unmarried romantic partners who split up. Not so much that they were having housing issues and then they, gave the dog for a temporary period. That's kind of a different situation. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all kind of the same mechanism under which we sue to get the dog back. So that is what this person's remedy is. I will typically tell people to try and call the police. You don't have to, it's not necessary, because 9.9 times out of 10, the police are not going to get involved. It's a civil matter. They just don't do that. And there's nothing for them to do, right? It's not, depending on how the police officer views it, it's most likely not theft, even though it could be, because animals are property, right? So you would think that they would file theft charges, but they don't, because they don't want to get in the middle of it. So they always tell people it's a civil matter. And then so then if it's a civil matter, they have to have an order from the court. So they either have to have an order they either have to have a warrant to seize your dog, or they have to have an order from the court saying yes, this other person owns the dog, give the dog back to this other person. So I mean, in this situation, I just always recommend that people put everything in writing. Like, if you're giving your dog to someone else for a temporary period of time, you need to state, okay, I'm giving you the dog on this date, I will pay for food in the amount of this, any vet, all the vet care is pre-authorized, I will leave my credit card on file with the vet's office, so if anything happens, and then I will pick up my dog on this date unless and until agreed upon through text message or some other written form to change the date. But I would definitely recommend putting everything in writing, because otherwise then you run into this issue. Oh, well, no, you gave me the dog, remember, because I paid for food, and then you stopped paying for food. And especially if you're having situation life, if life is happening to you and you just need some help and you don't put stuff in writing, people are going to try to take advantage of that and be like, oh, well, you gave me the dog, oh, my kids are so attached, or oh, you were abusing the dog, or oh, the dog was really fat when it came to me. I mean, the amount of times that I hear that as a reason for why people are I'm just going to take this dog from you, the dog was fat. Okay. So I mean, that's another unfortunate circumstance as well, is that if one or the other parties was actually abusing the dog, you can't tell the court, oh, this person was abusing this dog, so I should keep the dog because I take better care of the dog. The court doesn't really care about that, again, because pets are property in this country. That said, I mean, if you really do believe somebody was abusing a dog that you take custody of, make a report immediately, because otherwise, if you just let it go and then that person sues you or you have to sue them, then it just looks like you're just trying to be spiteful. And so definitely, again, if it didn't happen unless it was in writing. So put everything in writing. If you're going to have someone watch your dog for a short period of time or an extended period of time, always make sure that you track payments through some sort of electronic payment method, whether that's Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App. Those are my favorite ones because they're very easy to track. And you have to have the consent of the other person in order to send and receive money and request money. So I don't know, it's just a no-brainer on my end. And plus, who trusts the mail anymore? So, and who's gonna mail a check? So put everything in writing, keep track of payments, make sure you follow through on your end of the agreement. If you say you're gonna give them money for dog food on the 1st of every month, make sure you give them money no later than the 1st of every month. Don't do anything that's gonna jeopardize the agreement. Because if they say, oh, well, you breached the agreement, even though that's not enough, for them to take your dog from you. Like, just don't give them any excuses. Don't give them the in. So yeah, we do have a pet custody agreement on our website. It's not necessarily like what I'm talking about here. It's more for that situation where if you're an unmarried romantic partners that split up and you want to share the dog or the cat or the parakeet or whatever after the breakup, that's more what that pet custody agreement is designed to capture. But yeah, otherwise, you know, if you need help writing up an agreement, it doesn't have to be anything super detailed. It can even be on text message, like this is our agreement, or over an email. So yeah, but if you need help with anything, feel free to give us a call. We're always happy to help. Our website is theanimallawfirm.com. As I've mentioned, check it out for really helpful and insightful resources on a lot of different topics, this and many others. So until next time, underdogs, have a great night.